High on Whisperwind Hill, where the clouds grazed the earth like sheep and the stars felt close enough to touch, stood Elderwood. He wasn't the tallest oak, nor the broadest, but he possessed a secret known only to the moon and the passing breeze. Elderwood could dream while other trees slumbered in simple stillness. Elderwood journeyed. He dreamt of soaring with eagles over distant, snow-capped mountains. Feeling the icy wind rush through his imagined leaves, he dreamt of diving deep into cool, subterranean rivers, his roots stretching like curious fingers in the dark water. He dreamt of conversations with ancient stones and the slow, patient dance of continents. These dreams painted his inner world with colors unseen by the waking forest, a vibrant tapestry woven from starlight and memory, making the long centuries feel rich and profound. One crisp autumn afternoon, a small boy named Leo, seeking solace from a noisy world, found his way to Whisperwind Hill. Drawn by Elderwood's quiet presence, Leo pressed his small hand against the rough, deeply grooved bark that felt like 1,000 knitted sweaters layered together. He sighed, a sound as soft as falling leaves, sharing a burden too heavy for his young shoulders. Unexpectedly, a profound sense of calm, warm like sunlight on moss, washed over Leo. It was as if the tree itself was listening, offering silent comfort. Leo began to visit daily, sitting nestled among Elderwood's great roots, sharing his secrets, his joys, and his small sorrows. He felt an inexplicable connection, a silent understanding flowing between them, deeper than words. He didn't know about the dreams, only the profound peace the ancient tree offered as seasons cycled from the fiery brilliance of fall through the silent blanket of winter into the hopeful green shoots of spring. The bond between boy and tree deepened into something extraordinary. Leo would read stories aloud, his voice weaving tales of adventure and courage that seemed to shimmer in the air around Elderwood's branches. In return, when Leo sat quietly, images would sometimes bloom gently in his mind. The sensation of deep roots drinking cool earth water, the taste of sunlight transformed into sweet sap, the incredible resilience required to weather a fierce blizzard. Elderwood, in his own patient way, shared the essence of his long life and his boundless, dreaming soul with the small human who treated him as a friend, not just a fixture of the landscape. They communicated in feelings, sensations, and shared stillness. Then came the great storm. It arrived not with warning, but with fury, tearing across the land like a monstrous beast. Winds howled with voices of madness, ripping ancient branches from their sockets. Rain lashed sideways, stinging like cold needles. Lightning, jagged and blinding, split the ominous purple sky. Again and again one terrible, earth-shaking crack echoed over the hills. Roar, a searing bolt struck Elderwood's mighty crown. Leo, watching in horror from his window far below, saw flames erupt amidst the thrashing branches, a cruel orange against the storm's darkness. Before the relentless rain drowned them, the sight pierced his heart like a thorn. He knew, deep in his bones, that his friend had been terribly wounded. The hilltop looked ravaged, broken. The morning after revealed the devastation. Whisperwind Hill was scarred. Several grand old trees lay like fallen giants, and Elderwood. The sight made Leo gasp in tears. While hot and fast, the magnificent crown, the dreamer's canopy, was utterly shattered. Charred, splintered limbs lay scattered around his base like broken bones. The once proud trunk bore a deep, blackened wound where the lightning had seared its heartwood. Sap, thick like amber tears, oozed slowly from the cracks. Leo stumbled through the debris, his small hand trembling as he touched the cold, wounded bark. A profound wave of sadness, deeper than any he'd known, washed over him, not just his own grief, but an echo of the immense tree's pain and fading strength. He felt Elderwood's immense spirit flickering, like a candle in a gust. Weeks turned into a heavy, gray spring. Leo visited the scarred hillside every day. Sitting silently by the ravaged trunk, he poured cool water carefully over Elderwood's exposed roots, whispering words of encouragement, hoping against hope. The forest around began its slow recovery. Green shoots pushed bravely through the ash, but Elderwood remained silent, his great form standing like a solemn monument to the storm. No new leaves unfurled, no familiar sense of peaceful dreaming reached Leo, just a profound, aching stillness. People shook their heads sadly, speaking of the end, suggesting the old tree's time had finally come. Leo refused to believe it. He remembered the shared dreams, the deep roots, the immense patience. He placed his forehead against the cold bark, pouring all his love and hope into that single touch. A silent plea for his friend to return one quiet evening. As fireflies began their gentle dance in the twilight, Leo approached Elderwood. For his nightly vigil he stopped, eyes wide with disbelief. There, at the very base of the trunk, nestled within the protective curve of the largest root, and cradled in a pool of hardened, golden resin that looked like captured sunlight, was a cluster of tiny, vibrant green seedlings. They hadn't been there yesterday. They seemed to pulse with a soft, internal light. A light that felt strangely familiar, warm, patient, and filled with quiet wonder. As Leo knelt, tears of pure joy streaming down his face, a gentle wave of feeling washed over him. It wasn't words, but a profound sense of peace, of continuation, of dreams gently passed on. He understood Elderwood's final, greatest act hadn't been to cling to life, but to transform it. His dreaming spirit, his essence, hadn't vanished. It had flowed into these new lives, nurtured by his sacrifice and Leo's unwavering love. Years flowed like the stream at the hill's base. Leo grew into a young man, but his visits to Whisperwind Hill never ceased. Where the scarred husk of Elderwood once stood, now rose a small grove of strong, young oaks, their branches intertwined overhead, creating a dappled canopy of green sunlight sitting beneath them. Leo felt the same profound peace he'd always known with Elderwood, amplified, shared among the many he knew, with absolute certainty that the dreams continued. The young trees dreamt of deep roots and high winds, of changing seasons and watching stars. And sometimes, on nights when the moon bathed the hill in silver, Leo would close his eyes and feel it again. The echo of soaring flight, the taste of deep earth, the quiet, boundless wonder of the ancient dreamer, living on in the whispering leaves above, and the steady beat of his own grateful heart. The legacy of dreams was eternal.